Introducing Maverick Hawkins, one of the most sought-after recruits heading in to the 2023 recruiting class. Hawkins was a 4-year quarterback starter over at Fort Myers, Florida. Undersized at QB at 5'11" at 200 pounds. He decided to go at halfback, and ever since that big change, he's now one of the most sought-after halfback recruits of this generation. With speed that matches the likes of the cheetah Tyreek Hill, he is going to be a menace to any defense he comes up against in his 4 or 3-year college career. And by the end of Maverick Hawkins' senior year, he decided to sign with the Tigers of LSU and head down to Baton Rouge to take his talents down to the Bayou. And taking a look at the season schedule here for LSU in the first year for Hawkins as the starting halfback, it's going to be a test, of course, in the SEC West, but the season looks fairly favorable heading into a tough gauntlet to finish out year 1. And Maverick Hawkins, of course, the #1 recruit in the country, is coming in 99 overall at halfback position. You see this, the raw stats he has: 5'11", 200-pound freshman getting the start over Noah Kane, the senior. We're looking to see what he can do as we get ready for his debut here for the Tigers of LSU. So here we are for the debut for Hawkins at LSU. We're on our home field taking on ULM in the season opener here for the Tigers. We're looking to see what the impact can be for Hawkins in his first snaps here for the Tigers. So a 3rd and 2, Hawkins and the Tigers have been snuffed out early on in this matchup. Not much to go on, but here Hawkins breaking through, getting a first down, 4 yards, finally finding a little offense. Scoreless game, 1st and 10 for Hawkins and the Tigers, and he's going to get outside of the defense. He breaks through down midfield, a 19-yard rush for Hawkins and the Tigers. 1st and 10, under 4 minutes remain here in the opening half, and Hawkins is going to get outside, showing you the speed, making dudes miss. He picks up a huge gainer for 78 total yards now rushing for this squad, 61 of which from Hawkins. So a 2nd down and 2 for the Tiger offense, and they're going to go to the option. They're going to pitch it out to Hawkins, and he's going to take it into the end zone easily, touchdown. And the Tiger offense going for it on 4th and goal. Hawkins in the backfield here for the screen pass. He will collect and take it into the end zone for his 2nd score of the game. So the Tigers will pull away with a win easily here on our home field. 24-7 your score, and Hawkins, you see player of the game honors, 28 for 131 with 2 touchdowns all purpose. Heck of a debut. Let's see how the season goes for him in his freshman year. And halfway through his freshman year, LSU and the Tigers are 4-2 in the regular season, but 1-2 in the conference. Overall, having a little bit of a struggle. You see right here, they started off 2-0. They lost one to Mississippi State, a 5-2 team, and then they dropped one to the East opponent with Florida, who is ranked. Just picked up a ULL overtime win. Second half of the season, much more difficult. What will the Tigers offense look at? Let's see how Maverick's doing on the ground. And you can see so far for Maverick, he has 110 rushes for 696 yards. That's 6.3 per carry, and also 116 per game. 4 rushing touchdowns, which is actually a little bit lower than I was anticipating at this point in the year. And through the air, the receiving yards are not great. 9 for 76, 1 receiving touchdown. Again, even through his high school play as QB, he also ran the ball, didn't take much in receptions. And as the first season concludes, LSU a 7-5 overall record, 3-5 in the conference, nowhere near as successful of a team as we thought we would be this year. And you're looking at the record here, you're looking at the season schedule. Again, the gauntlet towards the end of the year, just tough to get through. The SEC West is just a absolute just a gauntlet to get through, and we were able to win the big one against Arkansas, but unfortunately a bad year for the Tigers in the first year here for Hawkins. And as we take a look at Hawkins in his first year as a freshman, his total numbers: rushing 224, he had 1,392 yards rushing, 6.2 per carry, 116 per game, with only 8 rushing touchdowns. I'm telling you right now, the offensive coordinator is not utilizing Hawkins to his fullest potential. He should be getting a whole lot more options, a whole lot more touches, and unfortunately just not getting what we like to see. 272 yards on 20 receptions passing. Again, chose to go to the Tigers at LSU, and under his first year, a great rushing number in terms of yards, but only 8 touchdowns for his freshman campaign. Let's see if we can take home a bowl win. And LSU will be taking on Notre Dame and the Fighting Irish at 7-5 each in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. So in the opening drive here for the Tigers, moving with ease down the field, Hawkins going to take a handoff here and try to get the edge. He will, and picks up a big 12-yard rush. So a 3rd and 9 for the Tigers here, looking to capitalize and get something going. On the seam, we find Hawkins, and he is open and picks up a huge 17-yard 3rd down conversion. In the very next play, we go on tempo offense here. We're going to try to cap off the drive, and we're going to go on the ground. And there's Hawkins, the speedster, powers in for 2. It's a touchdown and a 14-point lead. So LSU with a 7-point lead here. 2nd quarter, near the half. They're going to go with a jet sweep halfback dive here to Hawkins. Try to get into the end zone. He will with ease, untouched from inches out. Makes it a 21-7 lead. And here in the second half, you see it there. A 90-yard rush for a touchdown for Maverick Hawkins. Gives us now a 14-point lead here late in the 3rd quarter. And the Tigers are able to survive this one. 34-28 your final as Hawkins and the Tigers finish off the freshman season with a 8-win year, a bowl win as well, as one of the best rushing attacks in the country. The Tigers hopefully will be able to utilize Hawkins a little bit more in different areas of the offense moving into his sophomore year and beyond. But that's a great 8-win season in a tough conference, able to cap that off against the Fighting Irish. And Hawkins, of course, player of the game with 3 all-purpose touchdowns and over 200 yards of all-purpose yards. We're about to kick off the sophomore year for LSU Tigers and Maverick Hawkins. We're looking at the rushing records for LSU. Got to track down Kevin Falk, Lennon Fournette, Darius Guy, some key history and really great halfbacks in the history of LSU. Can Hawkins achieve these goals and become one of the best of all time? The Tigers come into the sophomore year for Hawkins at number 20 in the preseason polls, an A+ team overall, and have high expectations as they open up against ASU, number 24 team in the nation, and have, again, another gauntlet of a season in the SEC. Halfway through the sophomore year, LSU at 4-2, again with a 1-2 record. It's almost a rinse and repeat from last year as a freshman. You see right here a bad loss at Tennessee, a 4-3 team. And then again, another loss against Florida, who is number 5-1. They're 15th in the nation. Taking a look at the Heisman race, and there he is. Maverick Hawkins, the All-American sophomore, is 2nd in the Heisman race, just behind Mayan Williams, a senior halfback there out of Ohio State. And taking a look at Hawkins and his progression from one year to the next, you see in the sophomore year, 106 carries, 7.4 per carry, 783 total. Through this halfway point in the season, 130 yards per game, and already with more touchdowns on the year. And we're only halfway through with 13 rushing touchdowns so far this season. Again, that's already more than what he had in his entirety of his freshman year. Our sophomore year comes to a complete stop, again with a 7-5 overall record in year 2 with a 3-5 conference record in the SEC West. As Bama continues to do their thing, LSU just continues to do more of the same, and that's an unfortunate thing we're seeing here for Maverick Hawkins, just not being able to get the best out of this team, as we had some tough losses against some tough opponents. We're winning some rivalry matchups still with Arkansas. We took down a top 10 Auburn team in overtime, which is massive, but not the season we wanted to see in year 2. And as we get ready for our bowl game, you see right here, you have Gavin Sawchuk. He wins the Heisman as Hawkins finishes 4th in the race as a sophomore. He had an incredible sophomore season, though. As you see, he had 1,500 yards rushing, and this is prior to the bowl appearance we will be having here shortly. He also had 19 rushing touchdowns, which is 8 more than he had all of last season. And then through the air, he had 478 receiving yards on the year and 1 receiving touchdown. And we're here from Birmingham for the Birmingham Bowl against number 23 Cincinnati. We're looking to make it back-to-back bowl wins for Hawkins as a halfback starter here at LSU. Here we go, the opening play from scrimmage for the Birmingham Bowl, and we're going to go on the ground here with Hawkins, and Hawkins automatically going on the races here, picks up a huge 14-yard rush. Picking up a scoreless game late first quarter. Here we go with Hawkins on the ground as the handoff received for this stretch play, and Hawkins looks like he's going to take it into the end zone. A 29-yard rushing touchdown. Maverick Hawkins gets the Tigers on the board. After 2 passing touchdowns, it's now a 21-3 game here. And Hawkins on the screen pass, going to be able to pick up a huge gainer as he has the sideline, breaks a tackle down. 35-3 your score in the second half. It has been all Nussmeier. He's had a huge passing day out here, but Hawkins looking to get into the end zone for a second time. Going to hurtle over the defense, picks up a huge 16 yards. Now over 100 yards rushing on the day is Hawkins, and he will take a block into the end zone 4 yards out. It is all LSU destroying, dismantling the Bearcats. This game is pretty much good as done. It's a 41-20 lead, and Hawkins on the stretch. You see the speed. He breaks out a big 19-yard touchdown run there. Hawkins and the Tigers will pull off a major win here. Second straight bowl win. So a big bowl win here in Birmingham. It's another 8-win season as you get a look at their play of the game for Hawkins. Again, it was a great sophomore year for Hawkins. He had career high numbers in his sophomore campaign and finished 4th in the Heisman vote. But will we be able to make this team have a run, a chance in the SEC West and become a powerhouse team in the country? Gearing up for year 3 as a junior at LSU, Hawkins and the Tigers are coming into the season at number 18. Taking a quick look at the schedule for the Tigers this year, you see our big matchups are all kind of spread out this year except for Mizzou and Bama back-to-back weeks. Hopefully this year we can win 8+ games in the regular season with this Tiger offense. Hawkins, the All-American #1 option and Heisman favorite, is coming into the year #1 of the charts as the best potential player in the conference and in the country. Can the junior phenom in the backfield out of Fort Myers, Florida, lead the Tigers to a conference championship and a Heisman win, leading in to a national championship berth? Senior year has come to a close for the regular season. LSU a 9-3 record in the regular season with a 5-3 conference win schedule, and it's not bad. You know, 3rd in the conference in the SEC West is no gimme ever. So a good year there out of LSU compared to the first 2 years for Hawkins. And you see there the record: a loss at A&M. We also had a loss of Bama and with Ole Miss. LSU will come into the bowl season at number 20 in the college football playoff rankings, 9-3 record. Let's take a quick look and see if Hawkins is in the Heisman race. And Hawkins is nowhere to be found in the Heisman race. It is Patterson, Allard, Jackson, Barnes, and McCord, all top 5 in the Heisman race. And here you see the stats for Hawkins in year 3 as a junior. He actually took a pretty big step back. He had far fewer snaps than compared to year 1 and year 2, with just 188 snaps, 1,300 yards rushing with 9 rushing touchdowns. It was a less of a haul for Maverick Hawkins in his junior year. Maybe an injury somehow intervened at some point in the season here for the junior. So as we're gearing up for our bowl game against the team I'm actually usering with Florida State, here you see the halfback situation here at LSU. Hawkins, 188 rushing attempts, had the bulk of the carries this year, but Thomas Sanders, the junior, he's injured right now. He has 11 rushing touchdowns. That's more than what Hawkins has on 111 rushing attempts. Maybe this year, the offensive coordinator and offense there for LSU decided to go with a 2 running back system. So we're gearing up for our bowl matchup here against Florida State and the Seminoles. LSU looking to make it 3 straight years with bowl victories behind their star running back Maverick Hawkins. This could be a huge, high-powered offensive matchup here. Let's see who takes home the bowl victory. A couple big plays later, here we are with the 1st and 10, ball inside the red zone, and Hawkins on the stretch trying to outrun the defense, and he will. 14 yards out into the end zone. Hawkins with a touchdown. 1st and 10, second half, same score, 7-all, and we're going to get on the ground here, and Hawkins is going to try to outrun the Seminole defense. He breaks one, can't get through the second. 8-yard pickup here, 2nd and 2. Late here, the 4th quarter, you see Hawkins already over the 100-yard mark, 17-7, a 2-possession lead. A first down here would end this thing, and we're going to try to pick it up, and then some. Hawkins trying to get a gap. He gets a huge 7-yard pickup. That will be enough for the timeout to be taken. The clock should be able to be run out, and it's a 3rd straight. 3 straight bowl wins here for the Tigers and LSU, and Hawkins with the player of the game, over 100 yards. He had a huge rushing touchdown there to get this thing going, heading into potentially a senior year pending draft compensation and all. We're going to see if he's going to be a true 1st-round pick or not after a kind of a backseat role in year 3 where he was splitting carries with the backup running back. Will we see Hawkins come back for his senior season? Following a tremendous bowl win there, Hawkins finishes his junior year and is now the all-time leading rusher here at LSU. He's just passed the prior record holder. Now the school record is Hawkins with 4,700 yards rushing and 10 yards. Now the all-time leading rusher for the Tigers. Hawkins has a whole lot left to prove with the LSU Tigers, and for his own sake heading into his senior year He has foregone the draft. He is coming back for his senior and final year in college, looking to have the biggest year yet, leading to potentially a high first-round draft pick. Hawkins and the Tigers come into the senior year number 11 in the preseason polls. It's going to be the season. They have to have the best season they could possibly have. Here you see the schedule they have on the docket. Again, no real gimmies in the SEC. Can they make it a big year? Can they win the SEC West? Can Hawkins have a Heisman caliber year, and can he bring home some hardware for the Tigers? And the senior year regular seasons concluded LSU third in the SEC West with a 7-5 overall record, 5-3 in conference. Taking a look at the season schedule for the Tigers, a loss in week 2 against Mizzou on the road in overtime really hurt. And then, of course, Florida continuing to beat us, and 4 straight losses. Oh, that was a big schedule right there for us that we unfortunately dropped 4 in a row. Finished with 3 straight wins, but those 4 losses in a row really cost the Tigers. And looking here for the senior year from Maverick Hawkins, again, a backseat kind of role. This year, splitting carries between Thomas Sanders, Cunningham on the ground, running as a kind of a balanced quarterback. Only 1,080 yards rushing on 137 rush attempts out there for Maverick Hawkins in his senior year. The yards per rush average, the highest it's ever been, at a 7.9, with 10 rushing touchdowns on the season. And then receiving wise, you see he put up 354 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, the highest he's ever had. But unfortunately, not quite the lofty numbers we were expecting to see based off where he was his sophomore year and even his freshman year. But maybe we can make it 4 straight bowl wins and lead Maverick Hawkins as a 4-time bowl winner and potentially a first-round draft pick heading into the NFL. So here we are from Memphis, Tennessee for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl against the Cyclones of Iowa State. LSU looking to make it 4 straight bowl wins with the Tigers. Hawkins in his final game in the college level with the Tigers, again trying to catch and beat some records here with the Tigers to become one of the best all-time players to ever touch this program. 3rd and 3 for the Tigers, a 3-0 lead to get this game started in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We have Hawkins in the backfield taking his final snaps here with the Tigers program, and he picks up a huge conversion, a 9-yard gain. So early on in this game, it has not been very kind to our man Maverick Hawkins. He has struggled today, and he's trying to get something going, but the Iowa State defense is stifling. Trying to keep the ball on the ground here and pound away at this defensive front. Here we go with Hawkins again, this time getting outside the pocket. He gets out there, picks up an 8-yard run and a first down for the Tigers. After a few pass plays, here we are with a 3rd and 1 near the goal line. We need to get in the end zone, and Hawkins powers his way in, and it gives the Tigers the lead. So just before the halftime is winding down, 1 timeout remaining here for the Tigers. I'm going to try to pull off a little trickeration here and get Hawkins into the end zone, and he will pound his way in. Another touchdown for Maverick Hawkins, his final appearance, making it the most he could possibly do. 2-touchdown day. And a late touchdown from Iowa State gives them the lead with 1 minute remaining. And it comes down to this for the Tigers as we go into coach mode here to see what they do on a 4th down and 10. You see Hawkins there on the bottom of your screen, backfield, they go underneath, it's caught, but not enough. The Tigers will drop this one as the Iowa State Cyclones are going to be able to run out this clock. And there you see the Cyclones celebrating. Again, a career for Maverick Hawkins that was something to celebrate. He was one of the best halfbacks in the country during this 4-year time span, but the pressure, the stakes and everything that everybody put on him prior, he couldn't live up to. He didn't bring LSU a national championship. He didn't even win a singular award here with the Tigers in his 4-year tenure. But was it enough to build himself a name as one of the best running backs in LSU Tiger history and potentially become a first-round draft pick heading into the NFL? As the Iowa State Cyclones take home a big bowl win here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, the Tigers will celebrate what's been as we look forward to see where he goes. And there you see the final records for LSU in rushing. You see Hawkins with rushing touchdowns in a career. He is now leading with 55 rushing touchdowns in his 4 seasons, and he's also the all-time leading rusher and yards with over 5,800 yards rushing throughout his 4 seasons. One of the biggest and best stars to ever don the purple and gold. All right, and here are the results for the draft. Is Hawkins, Maverick Hawkins, had a great career. He will be a first-round draft pick heading into the NFL. The lifelong dream comes to the NFL. He was a quarterback in high school. They saw the potential at halfback. He brought that to LSU with great success as one of the best halfbacks to ever go to LSU. And now will take his talents to the NFL. The spark plug, Maverick Hawkins, heading to the next level.